An ATVN exclusive tonight, we hear from the student who took the photos that went viral. The photos of two students engaging in lewd behavior on the roof of a USC building.
LA took one step closer today and approved a $1 billion project to revamp a major downtown hotel. Find out why some people are upset.
And as the crisis in Japan continues, now LA residents are trying to figure out the best way they can help. Don't go anywhere, Annenberg TV News is next.
You're watching USC's first source for news, Annenberg TV News.
We all headed across the hall to look out a friend's window, and there were probably 10 or 15 of us, and we were just, it was really surprising and shocking.
The student who took the scandalous photos of the other two students says he never thought they would go viral. Good evening, I'm Marco Saldivar.
And I'm Caroline Vandergriff. Now the images of two students engaging in sexual acts on a campus rooftop have spread across the globe. The student was in a neighboring Burncrant residence hall when others on his floor pointed out what was going on. In an ATVN exclusive, the student, who does not want to be identified, says he reached for his camera and snapped a series of pictures. We've altered his voice to protect his identity.
A few people suggested, hey, there aren't some people here that, are off in the library or something, so grab your camera and we can, take some photos and, show everybody that this actually happened, that, it was such an unbelievable thing. So I originally put them private, and then somehow, I don't know how, maybe someone from our floor shared the password with someone else, but those pictures actually got downloaded, and then they re-put them on a different website. So just like when something leaks to the internet, how how it can explode so quickly. I obviously didn't realize that at the time, and so I probably wouldn't do it again.
Officials on campus are still figuring out how to deal with the incident. Fraternity and sorority officials are denouncing the incident that has captured worldwide attention. ATVN's Jackie Levy joins us for more on their plans. Jackie?
I'm standing here on top of I'm standing here on top of a parking structure located directly next to Burncrant Residence Hall. And that's the location from which the student you just heard from snapped those photos that have now gone viral. And in the photos, two students were pictured on top of the roof of this building, Wade Phillips Hall, directly behind me. The young man in question was addressed in a meeting in which Greek leaders met to determine his punishment last night. He was suspended from his fraternity, Kappa Sigma. And in fact, those Greek leaders will be meeting once again this evening to determine how to prevent incidents like this from happening again, as well as how to prevent the spread of viral gossip. Now, the university has said they will not confirm or deny whether or not they will be taking action against him or any of the people involved in this incident. Oh, God.
Just talking about, not continuing the spread of viral information and really focusing on controlling any rumors and making sure that they're not continuously spread.
However, they did say they would be looking into whether or not a UCLA student was involved. And those Greek leaders tonight had come up with a pretty interesting idea. They are talking about implementing social media contracts in which all members of the Greek community will sign agreeing not to participate in the spread of viral photos like the ones that have become so public. I'm reporting live. Jackie Leedy, back to you in the studio.
Downtown LA will be brighter in 2015. The City Council approved a $1.2 billion redevelopment project of the Wilshire Grand Hotel that will create new jobs and more revenue for the city.
This is a groundbreaking project. It's the first high-rise building built in downtown Los Angeles in the last 22 years.
The City Council voted 13-1 to support redeveloping the Wilshire Grand Hotel. Councilwoman Jan Perry is at the forefront of the redevelopment.
For 9,000 net new jobs, spur millions of dollars in new revenue to the city in 2015 and enhance our ability to attract new tourists.
The new Wilshire Grand Hotel will be 45 stories and will be accompanied by a 65-story office tower. Both towers will have flashing signs, illuminated graphics, and moving text. In 2015, when the Grand Wilshire Hotel reopens, this is what it will look like. The concern of one of the council members is a new technology which will create signage at the very bottom of the tower. Opponents support the hotel's redevelopment, but not the flashing signs and images.
Look, if we approve the entitlement of the sign district today, that's what's the developer with a bigger muscle than the city.
Jim Thomas from the Thomas Properties Group said the signage needs to be part of the project.
There will be no major buildings built in the U.S. in the future that does not take advantage of this new technology.
Employees of the hotel attended the meeting to show their support.
I'm supporting this because this is the good deal, really good deal.
A union president says the employees will still receive benefits.
They'll have not only their health insurance, but also their wages and all of the other benefits that they enjoy today.
Many of the Wilshire Grand workers will work at the other hotels once it is destroyed, but they plan to come back as soon as it opens in 2015.
The Riverside District Attorney's Office will not press criminal charges against Lindsay Lohan for the altercation between her and a Betty Ford staff member last December. The DA said there is insufficient evidence to prosecute Lohan. Lohan is due in court April 22nd for a hearing regarding felony grand theft. Lohan has pleaded not guilty to stealing a $2,500 necklace. A new taxi management contract will cause the surcharge for taxi passengers to rise from $2.50 to $4, which will ultimately cause LAX revenues to increase almost fourfold.
Passengers have to pay higher fare, which is hard on the passenger.
Cab drivers are also against the hike in prices and feel like it's their paychecks that will suffer.
That's a big damage for our pocket. Yeah, but that means zero tip for us. If the passenger has to pay $4 airport surcharge, he's not gonna give any tip to the driver.
The new law says the amount of money cabs must pay to park at LAX has jumped from 50 cents to $1.70.
Japan's government now says it didn't do enough to protect its nuclear plant from the crippling earthquake and tsunami. Officials vow to overhaul safety standards as workers continue their struggle to contain radiation at the Fukushima Daiichi plant. The March 11 tsunami that slammed into Japan's northeast coast wiped out entire towns and knocked out power and backup systems at the Costa nuclear plant. Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa called for Los Angeles-based organizations to come together to help the Japan relief effort. ATVN's So-Young Kim was there as the mayor spoke about what Angelenos can do.
More than 30 civic leaders gathered today to discuss the most effective role Los Angeles can play in aiding the people of Japan.
We felt our role, at least initially, was to be that place for the community to come together.
The Japanese American Cultural and Community Center feels a great responsibility to connect local efforts with organizations in Japan.
In the future, we will be the venue for a number of other benefits, concerts, events, and fundraising efforts.
Immediately after the earthquake and tsunami hit Japan, many local residents contacted the center, wondering how they could help. The center directed volunteers to local agencies, and it continues to direct local relief efforts.
We've raised over $1.5 million.
Los Angeles is home to the largest Japanese population in the United States. The mayor said he was aware of the strong ties many residents had to those affected in Japan. He spoke about the importance of coming together as a city to help Japan relief efforts.
Develop a plan for the long haul more effectively, provide aid and support to the people of Japan.
Many organizations around Los Angeles have already started their own projects and funds to help Japan. And the purpose of today's event was to join local efforts to make them stronger and more effective. So-Young Kim, ATVN.
Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and other world leaders met in London today to discuss the future political efforts in Libya. just one day before NATO takes control of Libyan military operations.
This coalition military action will continue until Gaddafi fully complies with the terms of 1973, ceases his attacks on civilians, pulls his troops back from places they have forcibly entered, and allows key services and humanitarian assistance to reach all Libyans.
Meanwhile, forces loyal to Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi made progress against opposition forces today. In a battle of the opposing groups, the two groups fought using heavy artillery and rocket attacks. Opposition groups were pushed back to an important oil town. The U.S. has spent $550 million on efforts in Libya. Tens of thousands of Syrians demonstrated their support for the current government in cities across the country today after President Bashar Assad accepted the resignation of his cabinet members. The Assad family has ruled Syria for the past 40 years. The pro-government rally followed violent clashes between protesters and security forces in the southern region of Syria in recent days.
Gunmen in the Iraqi city of Tikrit killed at least 45 people today in a siege of the local government headquarters. The gunmen wore explosive belts under their military uniforms. Nearly 100 people were wounded, and when the attackers detonated their explosives to end the 5-hour siege. Iraqi officials say several council members and a journalist are among those dead.
The U.S. Supreme Court may refuse to hear a class action lawsuit filed against Walmart for sex discrimination. In today's argument, several Supreme Court justices suggested they were troubled by the case and are inclined to possibly block the suit.
This is definitely a gender discrimination, or I guess I would say sex discrimination case, and obviously there's some merit to it because it's been going on for 10 years, and in lower courts, there's been differences in terms of how the decisions were made.
The 10-year-old class action lawsuit is filed on behalf of over 500,000 American women. Billions of dollars are at stake if the lawsuit does indeed go forward.
What's wrong with this case is that 3 plaintiffs are trying to represent more than 1.5 million associates. I've had a very positive experience at Walmart, like thousands of other women, and not being able to opt out of the case is wrong.
Ruiz started working at Walmart in 1992 when she was a store management trainee.
U.S. Secretary of Commerce Gary Locke spoke today at the Asia Pacific Business Outlook Conference here at USC. Locke says 95% of the global consumer market lies outside of the U.S., providing room for U.S. companies to increase their exports.
The simple fact is that the more American companies export, the more they produce. And the more they produce, the more workers they need. And that means good-paying jobs, jobs that we badly need in America.
Locke also said that only 1% of U.S. companies currently export their products, and of those, over half export to only one country.
January home prices fell for the 6th month in a row. The Los Angeles real estate market fell 0.6%, but some local realtors are encouraged at the rate that the home prices have fallen.
The pace of decrease in home prices has slowed, and what that means is I think that we're approaching some type of bottom of the market.
Realtors say if you're trying to sell your home now, you have to price aggressively. Many buyers are simply waiting for the right deal.
Stocks rose today after consumer confidence fell less than some analysts had feared. The Dow rose 81 points to close at 12,279. The Nasdaq rose 26 points to close at 2,757. Another Hollywood icon is in the hospital tonight. Find out who is having more health troubles.
Hundreds came out today to honor a music legend. How the former head of the LA Philharmonic made a lasting mark on the city's streets.
And did the wet weather put a damper on your week? Well, there's another upside. There's an upside. Why Governor Brown is happy that when it rains, it pours.
Welcome back to ATVN. Hollywood icon Zsa Zsa Gabor is hospitalized again tonight at Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center. Gabor's husband said he called for an ambulance early this afternoon after she began coughing up blood. The 94-year-old star has been in the hospital several times over the past year. She last checked in for elevated blood pressure after learning of the death of friend Elizabeth Taylor. Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center was ranked as the top hospital in Los Angeles in a study released today by U.S. News and World Report. The hospital was also ranked among the best nationally in 15 specialties, including cancer treatment, diabetes, and endocrinology. Cedars-Sinai Medical Center was ranked second in the U.S. News and World Report's first ever Best Hospitals Metro Guide. The USC University Hospital was ranked third, followed by the University of California Irvine Medical Center and the Santa Monica UCLA Medical Center.
The City of LA paid tribute to the longtime managing director of the Los Angeles Philharmonic today by formally naming the intersection of First Street and Grand Avenue in his memory. Ernest Fleischman spent 29 years as director of the Philharmonic. He also served as director of the Hollywood Bowl. Fleischman died in June 2010 at the age of 85.
What my dad contributed to the city, but then to have the city recognize that is really important.
The Philharmonic's tribute concert to their former leader will be broadcast live from the Walt Disney Concert Hall at 8 p.m. tonight by classical music station KUSC-FM.
Governor Jerry Brown will announce the official end to California's drought tomorrow. This year's rain and snowfall has brought the state's water reserves back to normal. We spoke with USC climatologist Lowell Stott about what the end of the drought means for California.
Still have a major concern here in the western United States as a direct consequence of the growing population, the dependence on a very limited water supply, and the fact that we anticipate that that water supply will decrease into the future.
California has had a drought for the last 3 years.
Well, speaking of drought, I mean, there's no drought, but it's sunny outside today, so.
I know, and I'm hoping it sticks because I really want to go to the beach this weekend. So let's toss it over to our weather anchor, Jillian Angeline, for the Silver Lining forecast.
Thank you, Caroline and Marcos. Marcos, you were right. It was a beautiful day today. Let's look at our current conditions right now. Currently, it's about 66 degrees. We're going to have sunset at 7:11, and the humidity is at 49%. Let's take a look at our conditions across the Southlands. Right now, tomorrow we're going to have 63 degrees in Big Bear, nice and warm. Palm Springs, 93, break out that suntan lotion. And here at USC, we'll have 80 degrees. Let's take a look at our conditions across LA for the 5 days. On Thursday, you'll see 84 degrees, nice and warm, beautiful weather. Friday, 76 degrees and a little bit cooler. Saturday and Sunday in the high 60s. Now, do you love music? In this segment of Living a Double Life, meet Chris Sampson. He is founding director of the popular music program at the Thornton School.
It's exceeded my expectations in terms of the level and the collaboration that's taken place among the students.
It is the first popular music major at a university. Popular music is song-based and includes a business component.
Can you play your instrument well? Can you navigate the industry? Can you be highly creative? And can you use the latest technology?
Professor Sampson wears many hats at Thornton. He is Associate Dean of the school, teaches songwriting, and is founding director of the program.
They've learned people skills and interaction.
But Professor Sampson is also a producer of live events, including performances at USC and the Grammy Museum.
Bring together all of the aspects that would make for a successful music project and environments.
You can find out more about Chris Sampson online at atvn.org. Just click on Link Up.
That sounds great, Jillian. I'm always looking forward to your packages. See, I understand one of the professors.
Yeah, very cool program, very unique to USC. Here is a unique story for you. 29,000 pounds of chicken, valued at $75,000, was donated to the Los Angeles Food Bank today for homeless children and families. Tyson Foods was responsible for the generous donation that was intended to draw attention to a recent hunger survey as part of their annual No Hunger campaign. Representatives from the LAUSD were present to help announce the donation.
What do you want us to do, Gary?
We actually have in our school district over 13,000 kids that are certified as homeless in our school district. So there is a tremendous need. In fact, we've had a 60% increase over the last 5 years in the participation in the homeless certification program in Los Angeles School District.
To learn more about Tyson's No Hunger campaign, just go to hvn.org and click on Link Up.
So what's going on with our women's basketball team? Tell us.
Yeah, I say we head to our sports anchor, and Alex Wilk will give us a scoop. Alex?
Thanks, guys. The team set off for Illinois early this morning, but we caught up with them just before the buses rolled out. Hear what they had to say. Plus, you've seen Blake Griffin dunking before, but never on a court like this. Find out how the Clippers gave back to the community. And they say you should keep your friends close and your enemies closer, so Trojan fans, you'll definitely want to hear about the changes coming to UCLA's lineup. Don't go away, sports is next. Welcome back. The women of Troy face off against Illinois State in the Final Four of the NIT tomorrow night. ATVN spoke with guard Ashley Corral before the team left to find out why the team has hit its stride in a tournament no one hopes to play in.
We were really disappointed not making the NCAA tournament, but once we put our minds to winning the NIT and getting out here and, working as hard as we could, and we got our first win under our belt, and then we went on the road and got another big win at Nevada, we knew we could do it. So it was just a surge of confidence that the team had.
This is the deepest the women of Troy have ever advanced in the tournament. The winner of the USC-Illinois State matchup will move on to the NIT final against either Toledo or Charlotte Saturday afternoon. Third-ranked women's water polo faces off against number 16 Hartwick tomorrow night. We talked with the team to see how they're focusing on the Hawks.
I think that having our winning streak is really important because we've had a few losses in the past, so just getting our confidence back up, knowing that we are USC and we don't lose.
We don't take any opponent for granted, and it's definitely a chance to practice little things we've been needing to practice for a long time.
After Hartwick, the women of Troy face off against three straight top 10 teams: Stanford, UCLA, and San Jose State. Trojan baseball in action today against number 22 UC Irvine. SC is hoping that a rare victory on Sunday over UCLA will give the 9-15 Trojans some much-needed momentum. The first pitch against Irvine was at 3 p.m. today. A pitcher's duel kept this one close early, but UC Irvine hung on for the win 4-0. Designated hitter Jordan Leyland led the Anteaters with 2 hits. The Trojans now have lost 6 of their past 7 games. In college basketball now, UCLA may lose 2 of its top 3 scorers from last season. Malcolm Lee, the Bruins' second leading scorer, says he will put his name in the upcoming NBA draft, but will not hire an agent. By doing so, he will have the option of withdrawing his name before the May 8th deadline and returning to UCLA. Lee joins teammate Tyler Honeycutt, who will hire an agent and forego his final 2 seasons of eligibility. One bright spot for the Bruins, North Carolina point guard Larry Drew has transferred to UCLA and is likely to suit up after next season. Blake Griffin and Eric Gordon of the Clippers helped unveil a new park near their practice facility today. Steve Soberoff Court Park at Playa Vista includes 2 full-size basketball courts, a tennis court, and a children's play area. The players say they are proud to take part in the community's newest addition.
Is an angel in the city of angels. Rightly so, the park is being named after you for your dedication to the parks of Playa Vista. Your past role as a parks commissioner and your role in bringing the Clippers to the adjacent site.
Since it is a Clippers park, the first basket at the facility was a slam dunk by NBA All-Star Blake Griffin. The U.S. men's national soccer team is facing off against Paraguay tonight in Nashville. The friendly is the team's final tune-up before the CONCACAF Gold Cup kicks off in June. Right now, the score in that one is 1-0 Paraguay, 54 minutes into the match. Oscar Cardozo has the lone score of the game. Los Angeles Dodgers officially announced a 3-year extension for starter Chad Billingsley today. The deal, reportedly worth $35 million guaranteed, will keep Billingsley in Dodger blue through at least 2014, with a club option worth $14 million for 2015. The righty is 59-41 in 5 seasons with LA, with a 3.55 ERA. Former San Francisco Giants head trainer Stan Conti testified today in the perjury trial against former slugger Barry Bonds. Conti said that Bonds added significant muscle mass in 1999 and also cited acne on Bonds' back, a side effect of steroid use. Jason Giambi and his brother Jeremy, both admitted users of steroids provided by Bonds' then-trader Greg Anderson, have yet to testify. That's it from you guys. It's pretty amazing that this story with Barry Bonds just keeps going.
I don't know. I think Alex, it seems like steroids runs in the family. What do you think, Caroline?
Those brothers, apparently, yes, but it's very kind of a difficult issue.
Well, steroids might be painful, but do you feel physical pain after a breakup? A new study conducted by the University of Michigan says you do. Researchers say the same parts of the brain are affected during both physical pain and rejection. USC students have mixed feelings about the study.
I think that it really takes over in terms of emotion, like you're focusing so much on your emotions that even like forgetting to eat or eating too much or I don't know, I think it really messes with your whole like physical sense.
I can't say there's physical pain. I can say there's a lot of emotional trauma or something, but I don't think you can say that, I'm gonna wake up when my back starts hurting because, me and my girlfriend broke up or something. So I don't think that happens.
In the study, people who had gone through an unwanted breakup held a picture of their ex in one hand and a cup of coffee in the other. The pain reaction in the brain was identical in both situations.
Well, a cobra escaped from the Bronx Zoo 4 days ago and has been letting the world know just how much it's been enjoying its freedom via Twitter. The rebellious reptile seems to have slithered its way to Manhattan, where it is enjoying all the Big Apple has to offer, tweeting about a trip to the top of the Empire State Building and that it's been, quote, kicking some ass at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Pretty interesting Twitter feed. Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. For everyone at ATVN, I'm Caroline Vandergriff.
And I'm Marcos Saldivar. You can watch us on the web at atvn.org.
Good night.